It's 8:50 in the morning. I feel like I've sweat through my shirt already.
Whenever you get a chance to hike along the Colorado River, it can be mind-blowing.
Yeah.
You just feel so tiny.
But we got up early and we hiked for the most part in the shade, and we were still sweating buckets.
Then we just hit the steep incline hard. We just noticed Jess stopped. Casey pulled her aside. She was like, I need to get my feet up. I'm gonna pass out.
We're gonna lay down right here so your feet will be up.
It was no fun to see your bride in that situation, but she has a thing called a vasovagal.
It's just different triggers for different people. Mine was triggered today for sure.
It wasn't necessarily the heat, so it didn't need to be treated like heat exhaustion, just the specific thing of just getting blood to her brain.
We crested the saddle.
See Deer
Yeah.
Creek, and you could just see that it was
Life,
oasis.
green.
Right there.
Deer Creek was heaven part 2.
Incredible! I don't want.
We're SROM, Solid Rock Outdoor Ministries. We've spent the last 30 years training people to be leaders in the wilderness. This time, we're taking a group of SROM veterans on their own course into Red Rock Canyon and the remote canyon to go deeper and live 15 days in the wilderness.
Get up, we'll fight the darkness right beside you day in, day out. Forget the days behind us now. You are here to stay, yeah.
I'm ready for the adventure.
Here are our stories in the canyon.
The Grand Canyon is definitely very hot. It's in the desert. So we hiked a lot in the sun, in the beating down heat. And some of the best times are just the refreshing times. Is getting to those springs. So down to Deer Creek.
Being able to drop packs and jump in the water that just takes your breath away. Just beautifully refreshing.
Man, Deer Creek is awesome. It's like when you're sitting under the sun, super hot, wanting nothing but relief and water and fun. Whatever you're picturing in your mind right now, it was better than that. Abundant shade, flat rocks to lay on, waterfall after waterfall to just
Clear,
fall in.
crystal clear, blue-green water.
Oh, it was just so much fun.
Most refreshing thing in the world, right there. Best shower I think I've had in at least 2 weeks. Definitely. Time to go film some interviews.
We got there at 11:30 or something.
Yeah.
So we had 5 hours just to play and relax. And we've had no rest days up until this point.
Yeah, and so we took a day to just to chill, and people kind of broke off, and some people took naps and. Been recognizing in my own personal life, the further along I go in my walk with Jesus and the more mature I become, that worship is the way that we need to live. And in 2 Chronicles, this army comes and the king asks for a prayer and a fasting because he has no idea what to do. And then what he does is he begins to remember all the ways that God has been faithful and God is faithful to himself. And by doing that, he's calling to mind God's marvelous acts and deeds, and he's worshiping God in a way that has no relation to himself. In his current experience, he feels intense emotions of panic, right? when we're afraid, and like in all these other components of the world, when it takes power and has power, and then when we give it our full attention, that's actually giving it like all this worth, and we're giving it our worthship, and then therefore our worship. Like we are creating idols in that way that we don't even realize. And I think Scripture has laid out so clearly how to win battles and have victory is to recognize the I am for the I am and put God back on his throne of holiness. And by doing that, he wins battles for us when he is rightly placed on his throne as king of our hearts and our lives.
Laying down my rights, giving up my heart for the promise of new life.
We got to go out on this patio that kind of overlooked the Colorado and all the Grand Canyon. But we just started to worship in song. Great songs, and the very end of that was when the freestyle happened. Ryan and Jake created a song. And at the very end, like, it just turned freeform, right? It was just, I think the whole group just felt the joy in worshiping together.
This guitar sounds horrible. This guitar is so broken. We thank you anyway. Everything about the broken guitar doesn't really matter if you sing out.
And then his one moment of like he just had played long enough and we're just having such a good time. He's like, I'm gonna keep going, and my fingers are falling off. And it was just it was a joyful moment that really kind of capped, I think, a lot of what happened on the trip.
Lowest of digits. Gotta stop with the lowest of digits. He's falling.